Not everyone who has heard this story made it to the end. Will you? It was a hot summer in Enfield, Illinois, during 1973. The heat was oppressive and humid over the cornfields, the sort that caused the roads to shimmer and the cicadas to shriek. Henry McDaniel rocked gently on his porch swing, the chains groaning beneath his weight as he pulled deeply on his cigarette. The sun had only recently fallen below the horizon, coloring the sky in bruised purples and oranges, but the night offered no respite, only a stillness that weighed down like a hand. He puffed out smoke, watching it twist and dissipate into the night. The radio on the radio became quieter, some forgotten country song of lost love, but Henry wasn't actually paying attention. His gaze was upon the tree line by his property, where the tall grass became woods. Something was wrong tonight. Then he spotted it. Movement. Not the branches swaying or the scurry of some nocturnal animal. This was all wrong. A form, low to the ground, stumbling in uneven strides. Henry narrowed his eyes, his cigarette abandoned between his fingers. The creature came out of the darkness, and his blood froze. It was perhaps 3 feet high, its body too short, too stooped. 3 spindly legs, 3 bent at strange angles, like a snapped tripod. 2 skinny arms hung, fingers too long, quivering at its sides. But the worst of all was its face, or rather, the lack thereof. No nose, no mouth, just 2 huge, glowing pink eyes, bright as flashlights, fixed on him. Henry held his breath. The thing cocked its head, examining him. Then, in a jerky, unnatural motion, it moved sideways and disappeared into the tall grass. Henry remained motionless for a full minute. His heart pounded against his ribs. He could have sworn it was a trick of the light, a mangy possum, anything but what he had just witnessed. But when he finally managed to stand up, his legs trembled. He called the police. Sheriff Ellis came an hour later, his flashlight scanning Henry's yard. He'd known Henry for years, knew he wasn't the kind to fright easily. Yet when Henry explained the thing, Ellis's lips compressed. "You been drinking, Henry?" "Not a damn drop," Henry snapped. Ellis let out a sigh and accompanied him to the back door. That's where they saw the scratches, 3 deep gouges in the screen, long enough to curve the wire. Not claw marks, something else, something purposeful. And down in the dirt under the porch, prints. Ellis stooped, frowning. They resembled a dog's almost, but the toes were wrong. Too many of them. 6, splayed out as though something that had not quite figured out walking. Henry's hands shook as he lit another cigarette. "You believe me now?" Ellis didn't respond. The following morning, the news broke in the Mount Vernon Register News. Henry's quote appeared in bold. "If they do find it, they'll find more than one, and they won't be from this planet." The town hummed with rumors. Children dared one another to go hunting for it. Farmers searched their fields over the barrels of shotguns draped across their shoulders. But after 7 days of no new sightings, everyone forgot. Then, on the 9th night, the phone calls began. First, there was old Mrs. Wilkins, who lived on the street nearby. She phoned the station around midnight, her voice shrill. "There's something at my window." Deputy Cole, who had pulled the short straw for night duty, yawned. "Ma'am, it's likely to be just It's tapping," she hissed. "Not knocking, tapping, like fingers." Cole showed up 20 minutes later. The house was dark, the front door unlocked. Inside, the air was foul, like damp earth. "Mrs. Wilkins?" There was no response. His beam of light sliced through the living room, snagging overturned furniture, a broken lamp. The back door creaked open, the torn screen hanging free of its hinges, and on the kitchen table, a lone muddy footprint, 6 toes. The cornfield outside rustled. Cole's hand reached toward his revolver, but he did not move from the porch. Something in his stomach warned him not to. The next day, search parties combed the fields. They found nothing. No body, No blood, just a trail of three-legged tracks leading deep into the corn, where the stalks grew too close together to follow. Mrs. Wilkins was never seen again. The official report blamed wild animals. The unofficial whispers said otherwise. Years went by. The tale dissolved into local legend, something retold around campfires to frighten children. But in Enfield, residents still lock their doors a little sooner than might otherwise be necessary. They don't stroll through the fields under the cover of darkness. And if they notice two pink lights burning in the cornfield rows, they don't linger to investigate. They flee, because whatever happened to Mrs. Wilkins is still out there, and it's still hungry. Hit subscribe and don't dare miss what's coming next. Or the next scream you hear might be your own.